So before I open up to audience questions, so the short person-to-person focus on Bene's character. I'd like to hear when you knew you wanted to kind of expand, go even more, and you knew it was the right thing to make this feature.
Actually, it was the short premiered here in 2014, and it was actually during the festival that I thought I was so happy about the short. I was so happy about having Bene finally. Bene and I, you know, we used to be roommates, and we've known each other for a long time. We've been trying to make a movie with him for a long time, and we that short just felt so right and so good. I decided, yeah, I want to make another movie with Bene. And I had some other characters floating around that I thought would be other movies. But they just started coming in, and I just, it started becoming a challenge of how, I don't know, the challenge I was trying to face for myself was, could I make a movie that had a large spectrum of people, the tones were different, and they're not necessarily interconnected, but could I make them feel interconnected in some kind of feeling, and was that possible? So that was the challenge I set out for myself. But yeah, I mean, originally it actually happened here. At a party, I just suddenly, something started clicking in my head and all the characters started happening, and then I started writing right after the festival.
Yeah, the tone of the film, it's got, I guess this can open to cast too, it's got just this very light, carefree, well, there's a lot of worries going on, but it has this very carefree feeling to the whole film. What was the shoot like? Was it a difficult shoot, or was that all a lot of acting? I generally sort of like to have carefree sets and a very warm set, but it was a difficult movie to pull off because of how many locations and how many characters we had. There were problems and that we came face to face with, just physically mostly. But we had such an amazing team that we somehow kept together. I mean, I don't know if the actors maybe had no idea that there was bad things happening, except for the helicopter day. The 2 helicopter days, but yeah, the Paris bombings had happened, and there were helicopters all day the next day, and the next day after that, because they were coming in from the UN and stuff, so that causes a problem, stuff like that. But for the most part, it was a very nice, intimate set. We were all friendly. It was great, yeah. It was awesome. Bene, your chase sequence, was that exciting for you?
Yeah, because he was slow, you know, he was on a bicycle, you know, so I had to catch him.
Yeah, Buddy who plays the scammer, he hadn't ridden a bike in many years. and you know, we had to keep telling him faster, but Bene is, he's a strong guy, and I just keep telling him,
No, it's fun.
not so fast, Bene, not so fast. But he still wanted to go fast because he was believing I have to chase this guy, and yet I'm telling him to go slow. So it's a confusing acting. I'm trying. Yeah, it's very hard.
The art of it, I don't know. Yeah, the art of that. Yeah,
One thing that I think is pretty exquisite in the film is the kind of texture, both coming from the music and the incredible cinematography. I'd like to hear a little bit more about kind of how you approached that and what was kind of the idea and design behind that.
Actually Connor shot the movie, she's here, and and we shot 16 millimeter, which is, you know, an aesthetic choice, and but also, you know, I think it's to me the only choice at this point. I mean, for this film at least. The music, you know, it is definitely inspired by Bene a lot. I mean, like a lot of soul music and stuff, because that's Bene's jam. And I always knew that was going to be the case. So that's how I sort of wrote the movie in a certain kind of, I guess, soulful feeling to keep that consistent.
Creating the ideas behind each individual story, where the kind of those came from.
Well, I mean, I knew to be consistent to make the movie work, sort of all the characters, they needed to. Their desires needed. They had to have like sort of a desire and a desire to connect, I guess. And they all had sort of different levels of those connections. Like Tavi's character is very open to the connection and trying to seek the connection, and yet the connection with her friend is sort of broken, and so she's opening up sort of to new things. George has obviously lost the connection, and he really wants it back badly.
And Benny knows. I mean, Benny knows what his connection is, and his day over the course is sort of a threat to, like, he just wants to have this dinner and have this party, and so his connection is being threatened. And then Abby's also searching, but she's just completely. She doesn't know how. She just doesn't know where the connection is going to end up being, and she's just definitely in the wrong place. So really, with the wrong, tagging along with the wrong person.
Yeah, so question for Dustin and Benny. Can you talk about the process of finding Benny's shirt? Like, did you go through a lot of
Question about finding Benny's shirt. Remember that? Or, well, it was very fast.
That was rough, right?
That was rough.
I mean, there was hard parts about making the movie.
Yeah. But when he put on, there was a different shirt that I thought was going to be, but it had a stain on it, and so we couldn't use that shirt. And then,
Right, it got bleached out a little bit.
and Benny, the shoot was happening in such that was a very chaotic day, and Benny had to suddenly come to set. He didn't know what he was going to have to do, and then suddenly realized, oh wait a minute, we have to pick the shirt right now on the street.
Right.
And so that was one of the other shirts that I had chosen, but then we put it, but it's great because you put it on and you're like, that's not the right shirt. It feels weird, but then that's sort of the journey of the movie. So we're like, oh yeah,
That was a blur,
right? We got it.
We were on the street asking if it was the right shirt, and it's the same story.
It didn't look right on him, and we're like, wait,
So I asked him
that's
that
great.
this morning anyway about,
Yeah, this morning he was in our condo saying,
Same
am I wearing the right shirt?
It's all a blur,
I'm very sincere. Thank you. I guess I felt really we had met a couple times after I read the script and before we started shooting, and I felt very trusted by Dustin and comfortable in the environment you created, and I think it just was written like I felt like these were things that I had maybe said at some point when I was the character's age or in high school, or it felt very close to me, and I felt like I knew that girl and certainly the dynamic of the friendship. So it wasn't too, it felt like we were given really good circumstances to feel comfortable.
I want to say thank you all for coming out. Thanks, Sundance. Thank you all for watching my film and my class. For myself, it was like a personal experience. I've been in love before, but I've never done anything like he did as far as putting explicit photos online or anything like that. But the energy of my character was just sincere because I've been that person who's had a good day, had a bad day. The movie was so relatable. It's like, man, I know that person, I know that guy, so it wasn't anything off the wall to where, oh man, I can't imagine that happening. Like, wow, I know that person, that's my neighbor, or that's me. So it felt good and it felt real doing it. So that's how it was for myself.
Sincerity is good. That's a good question. Sincerity reveals itself. For me, it's like that's what the lines are close to me. So all I have to do is try to show up and do my best for my friend. So that's that reveals itself. I think just trying.
Sort of along the lines of what Tavi was saying is that it was written very well, so that you felt like that you said these things and that you've been there before, you understand those sort of scenarios happening. So it's easy to just sort of walk right onto set and just speak, I guess.
I was excited to get to play kind of a different version of myself that's very sparse and quiet and kind of contained. And I found the character to be, it was exciting. It was a different thing for me to get to be very introverted and observing more than sort of outward. And it was exciting. I thought it was written beautifully as well. And thank you for saying that about all of us, because I feel the same way about all these guys. And I only got to work with you.
I've never played a detective before, and I'm a huge Michael Mann fan. So I watched Heat 25 times. This was my ode to Al Pacino. I hope he appreciates it. And also, I do think Dustin did such a great job writing it. I was very impressed by the writing.